Hello, this is Ed Rigsbee, and welcome to Raw and Unedited, where we bring to you, the association executive, we bring you innovation and insight. We bring you tools, tactics, tips, and solutions to make your life better and to make you a better and more effective association executive. Now, a lot of association executives talk to me, and you probably have this question too, is how do I get my members to refer their friends and colleagues? Yeah, they like membership and they're enjoying membership, but they're not referring their friends. What's up with that? Well, to deal with that important question, I have Marc Vahanian, an executive coach that he works with businesses and association executives like you to help you with some of these challenges. So Marc, how for association executives that are trying to get their members to refer their friends and colleagues, what's not working? What do they got to do?
You know, it comes to mind, there's a quote from General Bradley from World War II who said, "You have to tell your troops where you've been, where you are, and where you're going." And you have to remind your association members where they've been, where they came from before they got here, what they're getting out of it, and what the vision is for where we're going. And you have to reconnect people with why they're here in the first place and what they're getting out of it and what other people can get out of it.
Okay. And how do they do that?
One is telling their own story.
Okay.
You have to remind people of their story, give them an opportunity to tell you their story. And when I say story, you know, it doesn't have to be some long-winded bag of bones. It can be as simple as, before I came here, here's how things were. Mm-hmm. Once I came here and I found the community and the difference the community has made in being able to share my challenges, hear new ideas, and now you've got a story to take to other people.
So if we're pushing association executives to push their members to tell their story, how do we want to grab those stories? I mean, are we talking about video recording? Are we talking about audio recording? Are you talking about in print? Are we talking about coaching them to tell their story to their colleagues? What are you thinking?
All of the above. It really is. It's all of the above, because we're all so busy. We're so inundated with information, with things to do, our to-do lists, our responsibilities, our various communities, that it takes a lot to grab people's attention, to arrest people's attention, let alone move them into action. So it takes reminders. It takes an emotional anchoring. Okay. So when people hear somebody else's story and are reminded, oh yeah, that's why I come here. People need to have an experience, also the opportunity to help other people. I think you'll find most people I work with get a lot of value out of knowing they're helping somebody else, and then they're reminded of how other people have helped them.
Okay. So you use a term in some of your writing that I've looked over called authentic confidence. Is this, can you talk about that and explain to me how that somebody can use that in getting their members' stories and in helping their members to tell their stories with authentic confidence? What is that?
Well, first of all, so exactly what is authentic confidence and how does it apply to sharing your story? So authentic confidence is remembering who you really are. Authentic confidence is being connected to your sense of competency, your sense of can-do. I remember when my son was like 5 years old and we went to a park, and he just shot off in front of me and went right up to an older girl. And I thought, oh no, you know, the girls are going to be mean. Please don't hurt my kid. He asked her right away, he said, hey, would you play with me? And I held my breath and I thought, oh boy, please, you know. And she just looked down her nose at him and she said, no. But here was the magic, right? Even at that age, he just looked at her and he said, that's okay. I'll find someone else to play with.
Really?
And I thought that is a winning skill and sense of confidence.
Mm-hmm.
So when we remember the difference we've made in other people's lives, the difference we've made through the services we have to sell through our business,
Mm-hmm.
that's connects us to our sense of authentic confidence. It's that platform, the foundation with which we move into the world. That's authentic confidence.
So, how can association executives embrace authentic confidence, use it to increase member engagement? I mean, a lot of association executives are really, talking about engagement is near impossible. Members join, but they're not participating. So what can they do?
So first, we have to remember, for all of us, as we're wanting to influence other people, an association executive has to every day really remind themselves, why do I do what I do? What's my mission? What's my purpose? It's got to be a bigger purpose than simply expanding membership.
Mm-hmm.
That's not strong enough. It's got to be, why do we grow our membership? What's the service? What's the difference we're going to make in people's lives? What's the difference I can make by doing that? When I remember why I'm doing something, when that sense of purpose or mission is clear enough, it's amazing the level of opposition I can move through. I can navigate and negotiate. I tell a story. My dad was a B-17 bomber in World War II. And I read his bombing diary. And every mission they went on in those B-17s, they were stationed in England and they flew into Germany. Mm-hmm. And they were terrified, all those young men. It's very clear from his diary how frightened they were. And so you wonder, well, knowing that not all these planes were going to come back, every time they go out, they knew it. The odds were really bad. And every time they flew a mission, the odds were worse.
Okay.
And so what was it that gave him the courage and gave all those guys the courage? What was that sense of purpose? Right. Okay. So when your sense of purpose is clear enough, it's amazing what you're able to move through, what you're willing to do, the calls you're willing to make, the people you're willing to talk to, the obstacles you can work around.
Gotcha. If let me just ask you this through similar, but through a little different window. So if you were sitting across the desk from an association executive, and you were coaching this person, and you discovered or determined that they've lost their sense of purpose and that they were just basically, going through the motions, or maybe even, hey, they got 3-4 years to retirement. They're just trying to, hang on. How would you talk to them? What would you say to that person about reconnecting to their sense of purpose? How would you help them maybe even to find it if they've lost it? What would you tell them?
Well, so I think that's something that most of us at different times in our lives can relate to. And the first thing I would want to know is, so what happened?
Okay.
How do you find yourself in this place where you've either lost your sense of purpose or confidence or sense of mission? What happened? And generally it's disappointments, unmet expectations, a loss of faith in either your organization, the business itself, or your own abilities. And those tend, again, to be linked to disappointments, unmet expectations, and a sense of the meaning you give to all of that. For example, I've been unable to close or attract more members. That means I'm bad at this. That could be a place that I arrive at. Or I'm not getting the support I need, so maybe this association is just lousy. Or, right? We come up with a meaning to justify our sense of despair. So part of it is to acknowledge, wow, I'm really in a state of despair, or I'm really in a state of apathy. Apathy is a killer, right? It's a very corrosive place to be. It's a hard place to move and influence anybody because people pick it up. It's a nonverbal state of being that is a deal killer. It's a relationship killer.
So I've worked with, come across, coached a number of association execs over the years that their association, the members, they tend to want to run the association or society more like a club than an honest 501c6 or 501c3, whichever their organization is. And they just the members just kind of, well, we want it the way it used to be, and we don't want to stress ourselves. So then the association executive starts, regressing into the place that you're talking about. So how might an association executive re-energize their commitment to trying to get these people that seem to not want to change, that seem to just want to run their organization as a club rather than as a vibrant society or association? How would you help that association executive move to a place of renewal?
I believe it takes, and this notion is happening actually not just in nonprofits, it's happening in businesses as well, but it's not going to work top down. So one, it takes a certain vulnerability and willingness to address the issue from the top, whoever the head of the organization is, but to invite people collectively to address the issue and to create some accountability and partnering. Now, when I say accountability, I mean, it's got to be something measurable, that accountability. It's got to be one person to another, one colleague to another, either on a weekly or a daily basis, where you connect and you go, here are my promises, what my conditions, my promises, what I'm going to fulfill this week, this month. And then on Fridays or Mondays, you check back in and you go, here's what I did, here's what I didn't do, here's what I'm going to do about it.
Okay.
Here's what I did, here's what I didn't do, here's what I'm going to do next.
Got it.
Accountability and partnership, dyads, right? Partnering, getting people, pairing them up to make and keep promises, and then review what they could do better, what worked well, what could be improved.
Okay, I get that. I get that. So staying on this track, but making a little bit of a turn. So let's say the association executive gets themselves a little bit more motivated, a little bit more excited, finds their passion again, finds their purpose, finds the why. How can they help their organization to stay relevant? Because, let's face it, the world changes, and maybe an association was formed 30, 40, 50, 100 years ago for a particular reason. Things have changed. What can they do to help their organization to stay relevant and help themselves to stay relevant?
Absolutely. And I think we all are facing this question. And I work with both Fortune 500 companies to mom and pop companies. And we all are in this place of, how do we maintain our relevance? And number one, it's curiosity. But you have to put curiosity into action. It's what's working, what could work better, what's important to you. You ask your clients, your colleagues, what's important to your business today? What else could we do? What else do you need? Sure. And that's an ongoing, right? It's identifying what's wanted and needed, and then finding out how you can help.
Yeah.
That shifts. So part of it is, how can we better utilize social media? How can we better utilize technology? How can we better leverage the relationships we currently have, and what new relationships would be needed for us to stay relevant tomorrow? Pretty much every company I talk to right now are going through these questions. They're having to they're literally having to remodel how they do business in preparation for what's coming. Now, in some cases, they're unfortunately, they're having to downsize. I say unfortunate, that's unfortunate for the folks that get downsized, but for the company itself, that means they're going to be around next week, next month, next year.
You talk about, you mentioned earlier, partnering, collaboration. So in a situation where you've got a association executive that is trying to be relevant, trying to help their organization to be relevant, and they've got board members that are still stuck in 1975, and that want to run their organization more like a club than a professional trade association or society, how can that executive help their board members to join the new era and move forward?
Here's one way. One is to give them an experience of the power of the new media. And one way to do that is and this is something I've done in another situation where you do those video interviews and you get little 30, 60-second clips asking 2 or 3 questions from a number of your members who talk about what their current challenges are, what their requests are, what's working, what could work better. Anything along those lines that will help very quickly give a snapshot of what's really out there in their membership so that the board gets to hear quickly an overview from more people. And bring 1 or 2 of those people live into the room so that they can have a conversation, an interactive conversation, so they have an experience. The people have to have an emotional experience. It's not when it's an abstraction of even a business abstraction, it's not enough to move them from one mindset into a new mindset. But when people are in there right in front of them, flesh and blood, it can really make a difference.
So if an association simply does a survey, a quantitative survey on member opinion, and the executive director or chief staff executive, brings it to the board, that's not going to be anywhere near as powerful as what you're saying as bringing a few members in to share their opinion. Is that what you're saying?
Do all of it.
Okay.
I'm not discounting doing that kind of a survey. I think those are great. It's like being a good trial attorney, right? You're wanting to prosecute a position. You want to influence people, so use it all. There are going to be some people who are most influenced by the data alone. Give them all the data they need. There's going to be other people who want to know, well, just tell me what are the numbers? What's the dollar cents? You give them that. And then there's others who go, what's the story behind it? What's the flesh and blood behind it? You give them that. Then you've got that whole combination. Now you've made a difference. Now you're starting to speak more people's language.
Got it. So, in helping an organization to remain relevant in order to thrive and prosper, how we bring this idea into the board of directors to get them to change their vision, maybe change their conversation, their narrative, more access to the why. Then how do we get those folks to be the driving force behind getting the whole organization to get on a recruitment paradigm? How do you get those board members that are kind of stuck?
Boy, I wish there was a magic bullet on that. And I think this is right. But again, the same principles apply. Those folks on the board, they might be on 5 boards. They've also got other businesses. They've got a life. You got to find a way to connect to make this organization more important to them, important enough that they're willing to invest more of their time. And that's going to happen through relationship.
Okay.
So if you've got specific executives on your team who you can say, you assign or volunteer to target specific members of the board. You go after these 3.
Oh, really?
You over here, you go after these 3. And it's a relationship that over time, it's a cumulative piece where people start to see, oh, you're investing in getting to know me and making this more important. I'm starting to have more of an experience. I'm starting to care. I see that you care. It's not just a one-way street. So even for them, the board, they need to know you're interested in them, not just what they can do for you.
So traditionally, I've observed that the chief staff executive tries to build a relationship with every board member. And what I think I'm hearing you say is, in addition to that, to get some of the other lieutenants, paid staff, to also invest. And because let's face it, a chief staff executive, they probably going to spend most of their time with the chief elected officer, the president, chair, whatever it is of the board. And so by collaborating with their staff, are you saying then get their staff to work on these relationships also?
100%.
Okay.
It actually does take a village.
Well,
it really does.
I think that's a little different approach than than a lot of organizations, a lot of chief staff executives, because as you're talking about that, what's going through my head is I'm thinking, well, a lot of chief staff executives think it's their job to do it all by themselves.
And that's a real mistake, because a smart and strategic chief executive leverages the resources they have. This is a much more effective leveraging of their resources. One person, there's going to be somebody on your team that connects more effectively with 2 or 3 people better than you can.
Yeah.
Not to mention, you don't have the time to devote to every single board member and still get the rest of your job done.
Yeah.
So it's being more strategic in leveraging your resources.
Wow.
Your resources are your team, your people.
Got it. I want to ask you, I really like your 7 keys and your ebook on the 7 keys. But before we do that, I just want to give you an opportunity for a shameless commercial. And if somebody is sitting there watching this and they're going, holy crap, this guy exactly's got it plugged into what my challenges are. We don't want to keep you from them. How would they get a hold of you?
They can go directly to my website, which is Marc, M-A-R-C, Vahanian.com. That's MARC, VAHANIAN.com. And by the way,
I do that one more time.
Yes, Marc, M-A-R-C, V as in victory, AHANIAN.com. And my phone number is 818-203-7002. 818-203-7002. And I appreciate the opportunity for a shameless plug.
Yeah. Now you're going to probably get crank calls. So now let's get, because I really like your 7 keys. I mean, it seems to me, from my perspective, that you've kind of narrowed this whole thing in a tight, neat little package. And what I'd like you to do, if you would, go through your 7 keys that these executives should access, and give me a little bit on each key, if you would.
Sure. So the 7 keys is a universal development framework I developed. And the first key number 1 is purpose. So we talked a little bit about purpose earlier, right? It's clarity of what you do. Key number 2 is passion.
Better
passion
hold on,
is
Marc,
is
hold on. The video went really wacky. Let's go back and explain purpose again, because all I was hearing was.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I hate when that happens. So purpose is key number 1.
Okay.
And as we talked about a little earlier, was that when you have that clarity about purpose of mission, it gives you the spine and the courage and determination to meet all kinds of obstacles and stay engaged. So why you do what you do is purpose. And key number 2 is passion. And passion is that energy of enthusiasm, of excitement, of care, of heart. And that's really the thing that moves other people into action. They're drawn to your excitement. Mm-hmm. They may not even understand what it's about, but people are drawn to genuine excitement and passion.
Okay.
Key number 3 is preparation. They all 7 of these keys tie in so well. You can see, so preparation might include getting clarity on your purpose.
Sure. That makes
Preparation
sense.
might include getting in touch with what you're passionate about. But most important here, preparation is what helps you be better prepared to deliver on behalf of your customers, clients, colleagues, and friends. Preparation.
Got it.
Preparation really is that path to mastery. Key number 4 is partnering, right? It's that working together. It's that leveraging on not only your abilities, but other people's abilities. So it might be partnering with one person, or it might be partnering with a whole team. And there's a wonderful book called The Boys in the Boat that talks about the Olympic rowing team. And that's a fantastic example of how powerful it is when people are really in sync. So partnering is key number 4. Now, none of that really comes together without key number 5, which is practice, right? Practice.
Sure.
Without practice, we get nowhere, because I might say I want to do something one day, and yeah, that's a good idea, this partnering idea, this preparation idea. But it's practice that we get really good at something.
Okay.
And all of these things we do in business takes practice. If you're going to build a relationship, it's not a one phone call. It's not a one lunch. It's not a one drink after work. It's practice.
Got it.
And key number 6 is poise. And poise is a remarkable attribute and quality that allows us to diffuse situations when they heat up. It allows us to move with grace under pressure. And all of us, I mean, if you're in the Financial Services Association right now, you're seeing the volatility in the markets. So it's the advisors and wholesalers and people who are working directly with a customer or client who can retain a sense of poise amidst the chaos of the markets.
Sure. Yeah.
And key number 7 brings it all together, presentation. It's telling the story about who you are, where you've been, where you are, and where you're going. That's the 7 keys. And there's many ways to apply all 7 or to select one and focus on one.
So will these 7 keys help an association executive to design a way to get feedback as far as resistance to what they're trying to do, how they're trying to grow?
Let's just go back to key number 3, preparation.
Okay.
So here I am. It's a Friday night. I'm looking at the week that's just gone by. And now I want to know, how can we do better next week?
Okay.
Who could I ask? Who could we talk to? Who could I get my team to talk to get to do a survey, to get feedback, so that we're better prepared to deliver a service that's more relevant to where our people are today?
Sure. Makes sense to me. That's amazing. So, you know, here's what's going on in my head right now. Everything you've said is impressive to me. And it makes all the sense in the world. And as I'm listening, I go, yes, 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 yes. But then I don't know whether it's the preparation part, I don't know whether it's the practice part, but life gets busy, stuff happens. And how maybe, you know, when you talked about accountability, maybe that's the answer, but I guess what I'm trying to determine, and if I were working with an association executive and they're telling me, you know, man, I know all this stuff makes sense. I just don't have the time. I've got millions of calls from my members. Stuff's happening. Things coming at me at 1,000,000 miles an hour. How would you help that person to sort it out?
I'd say, how's that working for you? And what are the results like when you go from call to call to call, from meeting to meeting to meeting, and you still find not only aren't you getting everything done that you need to get done, but you're not producing the results that you want to produce, and you're not having any fun?
Oh, and they're going to say, well, you know, I know, Mark, but my God, you know, I know you're right, but I just, there's so much going on. I can't even tread water.
And I find it's when people start to really feel like they're drowning, is either that's the time where they call someone like myself, right? When it's painful enough, then we go, oh, I'm ready to change.
Okay.
Or when things are going really well and people go, wow, I don't want to lose this. Right? Okay. I like the way this is going. What do we need to do so that we can sustain this? I remember what it was like when it wasn't so good. What do I need to do to sustain this? And again, all of us have people in our lives that we can produce more accountability with.
Sure.
So a simple practice to improve your results is to make yourself accountable to somebody on a regular basis, even if that's 10 minutes a week. And make it reciprocal, because we get a lot out of listening to other people to say, here's what my promises are. Here's the promises I kept. Here's where I fell short. Here's where I exceeded my promises.
Sure.
As busy as we are, I find the most successful people are able to take more on their plates because they're organizing their time, prioritizing, and leveraging so that they're using their resources more effectively.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you. So let me ask you, because I've been asking all the questions, and sometimes I'm not as smart as I think I am. Let me ask you, what question should I be asking you? What question did I forget to ask you? Where am I not inquisitive enough to help the association executives watching this video?
Boy, that's a really good question. First of all, I thought you covered a lot of ground. And I think, again, with as busy as people are, it's hard to take in even as much as we covered. So for those folks who are still watching this and listening, I would say all of us can improve. So I think the place to look for each of us is, how can I make a bigger difference? What skill or attribute do I personally need to cultivate further?
Mm-hmm.
Because could just start with poise.
Got it.
Inside poise is a great umbrella for things like, I need to listen better. Well, people will say, well, I need to be a better listener. Great. What are you going to do about it? So all of these aspects are about moving into action. Even listening, you've got to be proactive about being a better listener. So one of the best ways to listen is to talk less and listen more, right? That old expression. But it's being curious. We'll be better listeners if I really want to know what's important to you.
Sure.
What's important to you.
Yeah.
And so we have to slow down to go fast. And I think that's a great place to look. It's almost like that song, right? The man in the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta start with the man in the mirror, or the woman in the mirror.
Yeah. Slow down to go fast. Slow down to go fast. Maybe we should title this "Slow Down to Go Fast." Hey, Marc, I want to thank you so much. This has been an amazing time. The last plug, give everybody your website one more time.
Sure. It's Marc, M-A-R-C, Vahanian.com. That's MARC, VAHANIAN.com. And my number is 818-203-7002. I look forward to speaking with you, and thank you for listening.
You know something? I got to garble. Give me your phone number one more time.
Sure. It's 818-203-7002.
Awesome. Yeah, the one thing with technology, sometimes it works great, sometimes not so much. Hey, everybody, thank you for watching this. Please like my YouTube channel, just because you should. And this way.
Indeed, you should.
Okay, and we'll be back soon with another episode of Raw and Unedited. So you get to see what we really say. And it's not because I'm lazy and I don't want to edit, which it probably is, but just being, authentic confidence. Here's my authentic confidence, telling everybody I'm too lazy to edit, so I do it raw and unedited. Marc,
thank you, Ed.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.